There's a sleeper weapon with a sleeper perk in the game right now that I don't think I've seen a single soul talk about yet, and it's Controlling Vision, the World Drop Sidearm with High Ground. Boom! I'm not going to string you along for 5 minutes before finally dropping it on you. I'm going to give it to you straight up. So if you click off the video right now, just take away from this video that Controlling Vision can get High Ground in the second column. You can enhance it, and it's amazing. It feels weird to say that because I haven't kept High Ground on any weapons ever since its arrival in the Destiny 2 sandbox. But it seems the perk was literally made for sidearms. Because sidearms are really, the best used as ambush weapons. You know, you jump over people, you bait doorways, you leverage high ground head glitches like this one here on Vostok. It's just a match made in heaven, honestly. So let's get into the gun, we'll get into the stats, the perks, and ultimately we'll talk about the benefits of running high ground on it and what it can actually do for you in a fight. And I'll make sure to timestamp where we're talking about high ground as well. So if you just want to get to that part of the discussion, you can skip right to it. Real quick, base stats. Controlling Vision has fine stats across the board, basically. Nothing terrible, nothing exemplary, save for one thing. We've got 30 range. It's literally 0.2 meters less than Drang, for example, so not a lot of difference there. 60 stability, which is the same as Drang, but the trade-off here is that the Controlling Vision has considerably less handling than the Drang at 48, but more aim assist than Drang with 75. So the aim assist value here is, it's actually really high. It's not the highest of any legendary adaptive, but it's still really high. This is just 5 aim assist less than Traveler's Chosen. So the perks on the Controlling Vision, though, these are really what elevate it to the next level. Because the perks in the pool here are really about pushing the stat package even further. And remember, you can actually enhance all of these perks on the Controlling Vision as well. In the first column, we've got Encore, which is what I'm running in the gameplay here. So my role has Enhanced Encore with Enhanced High Ground. After a kill, you're going to get more range and stability for 7.5 seconds. Well, 7 seconds, but if you enhance the perk, it's 7.5 seconds. So considerably more so, by the way. So there are a lot of clips in this gameplay where I've got 3 to 4 stacks of Encore for a total of 15 to 20 extra range, 24 to 32 extra stability, and 3.75 to 5% accuracy cone size reduction. So that is fantastic. And it's going to synergize exceptionally well with High Ground, as you'll see. Next up, we've got Slick Draw. Don't do it. There's Slideways, which is not at all a bad call on this weapon, but it's also the opposite of High Ground, which wants us above our enemies, while Slide Shot wants us sliding low on the ground for activation. So I'm going to pass on it. There's Air Assault, which gives you plus 10 bonus to airborne effectiveness with the potential to grant an additional 30 to 60 airborne effectiveness. Not at all a bad pairing with High Ground, but it doesn't quite full send on the kill chaining that I want to do, and also sidearms perform much better from the air innately. Next is Surplus. Great perk, honestly, but it offers no range benefits, which is really what I'd like to have on this sidearm. And finally, Fragile Focus, which is one of the best picks in this column to me personally. I think Encore and Fragile Focus are the best picks. Fragile Focus is going to offer you less range than Encore, but it will be more readily available and gives 20 range, which is still quite a bit. It's got a higher ceiling with Encore, but tougher activation requirements for Encore. So I leave it entirely up to you what you go with here, but I slightly lean towards Encore because I really want to go hard in the kill chaining, and I like the stability and accuracy buffs alongside the range buffs that I can earn with each kill, so Encore is my pick. The second column has Offhand Strike, which works fairly well on sidearms for better range and stability and accuracy from the hip. We've got Surrounded, which is more a PvE thing. Threat Detector isn't bad at all since you'll be in close proximity with enemies with a sidearm anyways. Osmosis, which has some interesting applications if you wanted to, like, for example, make threadlings and tangles with this thing. Then you've got High Ground and Under Pressure. I'm going to keep it real with you here. Like, High Ground is the only pick for me in this column. In terms of bang for your buck, it's absolutely wild how much you will get out of this perk. The description reads, Final blows with this weapon grant stacks of bonus damage. Think like Rampage of sorts here. Attacking targets from a higher elevation immediately grants the maximum number of stacks. Okay, let's talk about this. So the perk caps out at 3 stacks for a 15% damage buff. But Guardian kills count for more than general red bars, so one kill will take you up to 2 stacks for a 10% damage buff for 7 seconds. So you will never have 1 stack, never have 1 stack in PvP. It's either going to be 2 or 3. That's important. We'll get to that later. But you can get 3 stacks immediately for free, not by earning it with a kill or anything, if you just start the fight from a higher elevation than your enemy. And let's break this down one part at a time, and we'll start with the higher ground requirement. So if we want to skip straight to 3 stacks, we just need to attack an enemy from a position of higher elevation. Now, insight into this perk specifies that you can't just be jumping or flying through the air in order to get that boost to 3 stacks. You must be standing with your feet on a solid surface to get that free 15% buff. This usually holds true with the sidearm. Note that I said usually, because I'm going to play some clips for you here in slow motion, right? And note that the standard precision damage for an adaptive sidearm is 58. But with the 3 stacks of high ground, you get 67 damage to the head after the 15% buff to damage. Now, sometimes I'll be jumping through the air, feet touching nothing, no hard surfaces at all. And note that the game doesn't even show any buff at all in the lower left of the screen, like it should when I have high ground active. But for some reason, the game just gives me the 67 damage. No feet on the ground, no buffs stored of any kind, like surges or stacks of anything else. I just get free extra damage. I don't know why the game gets confused, or what causes it to give me free damage equal to 3 stacks in those instances, but it does. And it doesn't happen all the time. It's just bonus damage that kicks in from time to time. So I had people telling me, hey, TV, it's a bad perk because you have to be standing above someone for it to activate. And for some reason, that's just not true. But let's talk about that surefire way to get the 3 stacks. So if you want to get 3 stacks without having a kill prior, all you need to do is begin your attack on someone from a higher elevation. And the insight into this perk says that it has to be a meter higher. Listen, it doesn't. You can literally be an inch higher, it seems. Sometimes it's barely even noticeable that I'm standing at a higher elevation, but the game says, yup, you've got the high ground. Here's a big damage buff. But I think people underestimate even how often you're gonna be just organically meeting those requirements. So I'm getting that buff literally all the time in this gameplay. Another way to get 3 stacks is simply just to get a kill while you have 2 stacks, right? Easy enough. That will refresh your timer and bump you up to 3 stacks. You can technically get to 3 stacks without ever attacking someone from high ground ever, right? It's basically like Swashbuckler in that sense that you can just keep acquiring stacks just for getting kills, but if you do a melee kill with it, you get to max stacks. High ground is similar. 1 kill will get you to 2 stacks, 2 kills will get you to max stacks, but just shooting someone from high ground will take you straight to max stacks. And now you can start kill chaining the buff with no requirements past that. Listen, that times 3 bonus to your damage at 15% damage bonus, the fact that you can get that for free without earning it with a kill, I mean, there's no other perk like that in the game that's going to give you 15% damage just because you are in a duel. Could be the first duel of your current life. You just started it from a higher elevation, so you get free damage. That's a lot of damage for free. And while we're talking about kill chaining, note that the origin trait on this sidearm is field tested. So as you're getting kills, you'll also be getting more and more range and stability passively in the background, making the gun more formidable as you go. These are things that make dueling feel easier and easier the more you kill things. Couple that with Encore, you could very well be attacking someone with more damage output, an extra 1.5 meters of range, 100 stability, and an accuracy cone that makes bullets deviate a lot less and hit a lot more. I mean, in terms of raw kill chaining, this sidearm might be the king of all adaptives in terms of just the stat package it can receive on top of the damage buff you can be working with. Speaking of which, let's talk about that damage buff. Does it even matter? Because not all damage buffs are actually useful in a fight. Sometimes they don't change anything at all. But with high ground on an adaptive sidearm in PvP, if you have 2 stacks or 3 stacks, you're getting the same result, right? It's going to give you that optimal 0.6 second TTK, which is absurdly fast, by the way, for a primary weapon, but it's going to make it a lot easier to get that optimal kill. Adaptives have always had one of the absolute best TTKs in the game by far, but the catch is that you needed to hit all 4 headshots, which is not always an easy thing to do, especially in close quarters. People are dodge rolling, they're jumping, they're moving around as you're trying to have this close quarters duel. That was a challenge. But with any stacks of high ground in PvP, because remember, you're not going to have one stack ever. It's going to be 2 or 3. But with any stacks of high ground in PvP, it's going to let you hit 3 to the head and 1 to the body and still get that optimal kill. That might sound like a little. It's not. This is dramatically going to increase your chances of an optimal kill. I'm finishing full matches with anywhere between 5 and sometimes even 10 optimal kills that were achieved with 1 body shot in the volley. That's huge. Those are kills I very well might not have gotten or could have traded instead of winning the duel if I had to go in for a 5th shot. There's no shortage of optimal kills in this gameplay with a 3 to the head, 1 to the body volley. It absolutely matters. Not to mention, if anyone you fight is already tagged up at all, high ground is going to make them an even easier cleanup for you with the extra damage that you're doing. So I'm going to keep it real with you. Y'all, this sidearm blew me away. I was not expecting to drop, 50 kill game with this thing. I wasn't expecting to get Wii Rans. PvP right now is friggin' tough. The population is low, and a lot of exceptional players are in the lobbies because of it. So me using off-meta stuff is more challenging these days than normal. So that's not a complaint, just an observation, by the way. So for something to impress me in this environment is much more of a testament to its capabilities than in previous seasons. As you're getting drops out there in the game, make sure you're checking all of your controlling visions that drop. Mine could use a better barrel and mag perk, so I'm going to keep checking all of mine as well for that perfect combo. Let me know if you try it out and what you think of high ground on yours if you do. Thanks for tuning into the video today. If you liked it, then please consider leaving a like, as that's the best free way to support the content here on YouTube, and consider subscribing for additional Destiny 2 content. Check out my Variety Gaming channel for other game coverage, and my Whiskey channel for whiskey reviews and conversations, as well as a banger Discord community. Links to those channels in the description. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.